Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Firefall, which is currently in open beta, and it's an MMOFPS that focuses on both PvE and PvP. And I've been playing this game for the past couple of days because I find it really interesting. It's one of those games that I can play for an hour, then I feel like I've had enough, and as soon as I turn it off, I have this feeling like maybe I could play for 5 more minutes, which then turns into another hour. And I am making this video because there is not an awful lot of hype behind this game, not an awful lot of people care about it, or even know about it, and there is a surprising amount of people posting shitty comments, such as, "This game is underdeveloped." Yes, it is underdeveloped. Why could that be? Maybe because it's in fucking beta. People really need to get this bullshit out of their head that a game in beta or a beta client isn't an advertisement demo. It's a beta client for a reason. It's still being developed. Stuff will change and more stuff will be added. Just get that into your stupid brain. You're here to test the game. You're here to stress test the servers. You're here to find bugs. But that's enough of that. Let's talk about the game, the actual PvE content in the game. And I would basically classify it as an MMO sandbox shooter, where it's not driven by quests, it's driven more by the community, a breathing world that changes, and dynamic events. You could be running around and suddenly you hear a voice saying, "Hey boss, there's a party thumping nearby, maybe you want to help them." It marks it on your map and you can go there and help them. Or you might hear something like, "Hey boss, there is a party of Chosen screwing up that area. Maybe you want to go there and blow up their stuff so they leave." You do that and you get some crafting components, you get some money from it, and you get some experience. Now, in my opinion, there is a pretty good variety on these dynamic events. But then again, I've been only playing for about 23 hours, so as you're playing more and more, maybe after 50 hours it gets boring, but you can say that about most games. So far I've been doing things like, oh, there's a cave, there are dudes in the caves and they have things. We don't like them having those things. Can you please go and blow them up? Or there is a guy we really want to see dead. Or defend this thing before it's ready to leave. There is someone else thumping for resources, maybe you can help them. Take over an outpost, defend your own outpost, and stuff like that. So I would say there is enough variety for me. Maybe there is not for you, but you know, it's a free to play game. There is nothing for you to lose except time. Oh yeah, I almost forgot, there's PvP, there are, deathmatch games and stuff like that, but I did not touch that yet. And I'm not planning on touching that, because I have PlanetSide and Tribes. If I'm gonna play Firefall more, I'm gonna play it for PvE. Now let's talk about something I have already mentioned, and that is a living, breathing world that changes. So let's look at the map. The gray icons are places we currently do not own. These are places that have been overrun by NPCs and we need to take them back. You can also see a blue purplish goo spreading from the sides. That is some sort of a corruption that you need to fight back, otherwise it's gonna devour your world. And from all of that looting and questing and doing events and fighting back the corruption, you get goodies and you spend them on battle frames. So let's look at the different battle frames. These are basically classes. You do not choose a class, you just go in the game and you can swap basically these battle frames, which are classes, in battle frame garages. So the first one we're currently looking at is a Dreadnought, which is a big meaty bastard, big tanky character with a minigun and an SMG. Each one of these classes has different abilities as well. Next we have the Assault, your standard trooper, your soldier with a plasma rifle, an SMG, a basically speed boost or a thrust boost. And this is basically the jack of all trades, master of none. You can do pretty much everything, but the only thing you're really good at is killing dudes. Next we have the Medic. Guess what that one's for? You can heal people. Once again, crazy medic gun, which is kind of a shotgun crossed with a kind of a plasma SMG and then a regular SMG. You can heal people, you can fart, which hurts dudes, and that's about it. Then we of course have the engineer, which I've played in the previous clip. I did not record it in this clip, but he has turrets, he has guns, and he's really good at defending. And the last basic battle frame you get from the get-go is a recon, which is a sniper, but you have an automatic sniper rifle, which is kind of weird, and a nice SMG as well. Then you have a sort of a smoke bomb that does damage, you have a decoy that also stealths you, and you have this thing that shows locations of enemies where it lands. Now, throughout this video, I've talked about thumping, and I'm gonna explain it now. So thumping is the way to mine resources. You have a massive scan hammer, you can hit the ground with it, it will scan a particular area and it will give you a rundown of the resources you're gonna get if you thump in this area. Now the first thing you need to do is you need to go to this crafting terminal and craft a thumper. As soon as you throw the thumper down in a specific area, it triggers an event. It's basically a defend event, okay? The lore behind this basically is you throw down the thumper, it thumps the ground, it wakes up everything around it, and they want to destroy it. Now, of course, the very obvious difference between the personal and the squad thumper is that the personal thumper triggers an event that is soloable, the squad thumper not so much. So, here is a clip of me thumping. So first of all, I will select the scan hammer, and BAM! Look at that. So I will get a scan report, I will get raw silicite, and I will get some dirt. Then I will select the thumper, I'll throw it down. Now let's run away from the thumper, because if you stand in the landing area, it will actually kill you, it will squash you. So, as I'm an engineer, I'll immediately throw down my turret. I would say that engineer is the best basic battle frame to defend thumpers. As you can see, a nice kind of UI element pops out. It's not actually UI, to be honest. It's more of a report pops out. It tells you how much health it has and how much resources it collected. You can always go to the thumper and cancel it, and it will give you the resources it collected. But of course you want to defend it for as long as possible. And sometimes you really need to cancel it sooner, because it's really easy to get overrun. Because there will be a lot of stuff coming out of the ground, exploding everywhere, flying all over the place, and as I've said, you might find yourself being overrun really fast. So it doesn't really matter if you cancel it, because you will get less stuff, but your thumper will survive. If you fail to defend your thumper, it will be destroyed and you need to craft another one. And while the clip of me thumping is still in the background, let's talk about progression. Now, as far as I know, after these 20 odd hours I've been playing, the progression is very linear. You basically go to a battle frame garage, and each battle frame has its separate progression where you upgrade its mass, its power, and you add additional cores. And you can either add more stuff to the battle frame, or you can use these in a different way. So for instance, if you have a lot of mass but you're not using it, your battle frame is going to be faster and stuff like that. So there is a nice amount of tweaking where it's, there is some customizability, but there is not too much of it, as far as I know, okay? As far as I know, the only way to upgrade weapons is to basically buy a better version of the weapon you already have. But I might be wrong. As I've said, I've played only 20 hours, so that might be different, and it's beta, so it might change. They might add more custom things and basically more things to do with your battle frame. But I've talked to a couple of people, and to max out a battle frame, it will take you a lot of time. I know people that played for around 50 hours and they still don't have a single battle frame maxed out. So, that's for you crazy, power leveling people there is a lot of stuff for you as well. You're gonna be leveling for a long bloody time. Now let's talk about my initial experience with this game. So after completing the horribly railroady tutorial that was awful and they should get rid of it, I was just thrown into this world and I felt lost, which is a problem with these kind of games, because as soon as you complete the tutorial, you're at end game. Okay, you're leveling to tweak your battle frame and to make it better, but even in the beginning, you have enough power to do most of the things in the world. As you increase the power of your battle frame, these things become easier. You might not die as much, your battle frame is customized to your liking, but as far as I know, as soon as you leave the tutorial level, you are ready for the entire world, which is a nice change. MMOFPS games usually do this, where you start playing the game and you are ready. The only thing you need experience for is custom things. Oh, you want a better weapon, you want more health, better armor, that kind of thing. It's not, okay, you will start at this shitty zone and you can't do the fun stuff until you grind for 40-50 hours to get to the max level. And I like that. The free-to-play model, I'm not quite sure. You can complete crafting instantly. For instance, the basic personal thumper takes 15 minutes to create, but if you use the in-game currency, it will be finished automatically. You can buy silly hats and beards and stuff that doesn't help you in any way, shape or form. It just makes you look pimp, so that's good, I guess. And that's about that. There is an auction house in the game and a lot of stuff, and I'll probably make one more video after I've played more PvP, or any PvP at all. I'm gonna do a couple of death matches, see what kind of game modes they are, and I will inform you next time. But anyway, if you think that you might enjoy this game, the link is in the description below this video. I thank you lot for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.
Lift off, nice and heavy. That thing fixed up and sent to me. I'm sure we can find a use for it. Nice fixer-upper job, boss.